What's today? Man, it's Monday. You already know we at work decided to hop on top of it with an individual. See what's the talk of the town is going down the word of the curve. You heard me? Whoopsie. Just set this up real quick. Here in Southern California, it is lovely, sunny, warm day. Perfect day to be, out and about. Cause it's hot, but it's not that hot. It's gonna get hot though this week, as they say. And then we got that long weekend, no? Cause what is it, Memorial Day? Is it Memorial Day or Veterans Day or one of those days? One of those many holidays. I just moved this over here. Whoops. Whoa, what am I doing? And now we are uploading a battle rap reaction to the other channel, right? It's just in the process right now, so we're waiting for the, AOK to. So, be expecting that on the other channel. One of those battle rap reactions. Oh. What's cracking like it? That's for what's good with you, my boy. You already know, my boy, we chilling like a villain. We chilling. Did you do Crip Blood or South versus no? Actually, both. So I'm just waiting for YouTube to, their process that they have to fucking do for every video to make sure that there's no content that's like, that you're not putting out anything that's fucking, full of inappropriate things, whatever. Why not? Like any videos of like beheadings and shit that motherfuckers be trying to upload. There's a lot of weird people always trying to upload shit onto the internet, bro. You already know. What's cracking like it, Mr. Pasas de Felipe in the Casa for the Raza? Hopefully it doesn't get taken down again. I know. Hopefully these rappers are more how can I say, they're not so much in their feelings. That's crazy though, bro. Like it's crazy how, like if you have to pick between two tracks, right, and you pick one, and then the other person gets offended because you didn't choose his, right, and it's like, well, just because I didn't choose yours doesn't mean that it automatically sucks now. You know what I mean? It's just not that I felt this track better, right? Just because you pick one over the other doesn't mean that the other sucks. I bought a PlayStation doesn't mean Xbox sucks. I think Kobe was a GOAT doesn't mean that LeBron James and Michael Jordan don't know how to play basketball. Come on now. But there's some people, I don't know, bro, they're just, I don't know. They're egos, the egos on some individuals. It's crazy. Got a haircut today. Oh, homie, fresh to death. It's crazy how people who are insecure will get it. You're just saying, yeah. And it's worse, by them because it's actually like their tracks, right? YouTube, obviously they're gonna apply. Vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? Oh, vanilla all day, my boy. I'm not too. I mean, I like chocolate. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer vanilla. Said hi. Hello there. He said vanilla, but I'm not racist. Like, nah, we're just literally talking ice cream. Like vanilla more. Yeah, I feel you. Same way, like even chocolate, I prefer white chocolate, even though it's not really chocolate. But you know what I mean. I needed a haircut because my sister engagement ceremony is coming up Saturday. On top of that, I'm going to tomorrow to buy some clothes for the ceremony. All right. That's good, my boy. That's right. Yeah, well, congrats to your sis, bro. Keep your phone in front of my face. Not down there is. Did you hear about the New Orleans prison escape? Yeah, actually I did. I seen that shit. That shit was stupid as fuck. Didn't they catch them like in like in their spots, like in their hoods? They're gonna break out of jail and they're gonna go straight back to the hood. Well, not the brightest of individuals, huh? I mean, where the fuck were they being detained? Where all you have to do is move the toilet and you're like, there it is, like freedom. That's crazy. They even had time to write something on the wall, like it was that easy or something like that. It's easy or LOL. Like, huh? Bro still went and taunted them. That's funny. One got caught sleeping on the bed on the bus stop. Who got caught lacking. You would think that they would stay out of public view, right? But it's like, nah, they're gonna be out in the open. See, what it is that why they get caught like that is because, see, most individuals plan escaping, right? They'll plan the escape, but see, they won't plan the aftermath. Like, what happens if they actually do succeed in escaping, and then now where do they go from there? See, they don't plan that part because truly, deep down inside, they feel like they won't get to that point, right? So then what happens is that they actually attempt it, and then it works, right? And then they're like, huh, well, what now? And then now that you're out and now you have to worry about being caught and shit like that, it doesn't give you no time to really, sit down and think and, plot like when you were in your cell, not doing shit. So all you got is time. But like this, you got to be worried about all kinds of shit so you can't even think straight. Makes it very difficult. Cool. Shit's goofy. But like 11 inmates? Oh, my man. Yeah, like who wants to come? Like, hey, fuck it. Watch, some of them only had like fucking a week or like fucking a month. Now they're gonna get hit with all kinds of time. See, I can understand the fools that are in there for a long ass time, right? But I mean, if you didn't even have that long to do, my boy, I mean, what the fuck? Like, just take it as a little vacation. Like, bro, it's not that bad. How you how you escape to be homeless? I'm telling you, they didn't think that far ahead. Because like let's just say you're not from the area, right? Um, so you really, it's not your town, so you really don't know the town, right? Or you're the city, you know. So you really, probably don't really got that many connections around. You think it's crazy how some people view being gay is the worst of the worst? Oh no, pedophile and chomos being the worst of the worst. That's just there's nothing beneath that. That for sure is the worst thing you can be on this planet. Like, to me, I can't say that being gay, is the worst, right? Like, I don't know what those individuals go through or how they truly function, right? Like, but if they have their significant other, whatever, who they seem to like how we like, our women and stuff like that, right? Like, let's say how I love my wife, right? Then I mean, then they're not miserable, right? And if they truly care for the person, then that's the only thing that should matter. So, I mean, they're not really gonna care what the world says. You know what I mean? Like I just don't really give them that much of attention and focus. It's just that it's just for what, you know what I mean? Like no disrespects towards them and what they have going on and whatnot, right? Just that, well, why would I be thinking about that, right? Like I be thinking about my own shit. You know what I mean? The crazy part is how people worry so much about people being gay and shit like that. And it's like you know what, bro? The thing is that I just never really sit there and fucking think about that kind of shit. I know you like to really sit there and think about that shit all the time. But some of us, we different. We different. You know? Like they really think that they that they're showing they're standing on like man business by insulting these gays and all that, and it's like, bro, why are you focusing so much on who they're sleeping with, bro? Worry about who you're sleeping with. I don't give a fuck about who people are sleeping with. Like truly, bro, I don't understand why people are like that. Like I truly, when I'm living life, bro, I never stare at people and wonder, hey man, I wonder who he's sleeping with. I wonder if that fool's gay or not. I just don't wonder that kind of shit. I really don't, because I really don't give a fuck. But there's people out there that, bro, it seems like that's all they think about. Like, it's like the first thing that comes out of their mouth, and it's like, my boy, do you want to get something off your chest? Go right ahead. Like, as long as they just don't disrespect me, as long as they don't fucking come and say something stupid to me, then there's no issues, right? But if they say something stupid, then there's going to be some problems. And it's not because they're gay. It's just that, hey, bro, you disrespect, you already know what's cracking. You know what I mean? Come respectful, you'll get respect. But if I feel like you disrespected by saying something stupid now or some shit that, is offensive to my beliefs, right? Like, hey, bro, I respect your beliefs and what you want to do with yourself, so respect mine. So don't fucking come and say something stupid to me, because then now we're going to have some issues, right? It's not because I'm fucking, I hate your movement and what you have going on, right? It's just that, bro, come on now. Respect the fucking, respect the view. And that's another thing that the stupid mentality of individuals, right? They feel like just because a man's gay, right, that means that he'll automatically try to hit on you or some shit like that. When it's like, I'm assuming them fools have types too, right? I'm assuming that they have people that they think they like or they don't like, right? Like how individuals find some women attractive, some women not attractive, right? I'm assuming they gotta work the same way, right? So it's like, bro, you acting like if you're his type, my boy. Like, relax with your conceited ass, bro. Acting like if everybody wants you. Like, bro, how you know that fool even likes you? Like, look at this fool over here thinking everybody wants him. Chill, my guy. You're not him. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's because what if that fool tries to say something to me? Like, huh? Why would he say that, though? Like, what, you think he wants you? What kind of shit is that? I mean, and then you're not gay, so, I mean, why should you be worried then? Or you're telling me you might question your opinion? Or what the fuck? Stupid. And that's a trip though, because when you hang around with homies, bro, nobody's even fucking thinking about that kind of shit, bro. It's always these people that are, I don't know if they're trying to fit in, if that's maybe what they're trying to do, right? Like maybe by insulting somebody for being gay, that maybe we'll be like, that's right, my boy, fuck them fools, huh? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they think that they're seeking the embracement by their fellow men. But in actual reality, it's like, oh, why are you worried about who the fuck they're sleeping with, bro? Worry about yourself. Ain't nobody giving a fuck about that. Fucking goofball. That's shit that like a fucking like I'm saying, like a third grader would say or a fourth grader would say, bro. That shit that a little kid worries about, when they're trying to be funny and fitting in. But it's like, bro, grow up already. Just keeping that shit in one hundo. Like, bro, you're almost 40 years old and you still busting that shit? Grow the fuck up already. Like, a gay joke? Really, my boy? Huh? What are we in the third grade? Shit is crazy. The California weather has been acting up. Seriously, bro. It's a roller coaster. It's the Democrats that controlling the weather, as some of these Republicans would say. I sat on the swings and listened to some music, but the rain started coming down. No, well, we haven't gotten no rain over here. People being gay has the worst of the worst, unfortunately. That's people that have too much time on their hands. I'm gonna kiss the top of your head. What? Would you go as far as saying it's a mental illness, like some conservatives do? They say gay. You know what? Look, when it comes to like gays and all that, right? I feel like maybe that it has something to do with their mental, because I don't know. Maybe because, like I said, I just can't comprehend them, right? Like, it's just I don't understand how they can see another man and find them attractive, though. Like I don't get it, though. I don't get it at all. You know what I mean? And like I said, no disrespect. Whatever works for them. Like I said, hey, whatever makes them fucking happy, right? But I just don't understand it, though. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have no problem with, people wanting to, whoever the fuck they want to be with, because that's their life. So who gives a fuck, right? I live me, let them do them, right? But I believe that a relationship should be between a man and a woman because the parts fit. And I don't mean just like that, though. I mean, like, we can reproduce, bro. You know what I mean? We can reproduce. So they go together, right? Man and woman can reproduce, they go together. Because if it really was like, anything like that, then, two women would be able to have a child, or two men, right? And I don't mean like adoption wise. I mean like the real way, right? So that's why I just feel like it should be between them. But like I said, whoever people want to be with, that's their pedo. I don't give a fuck. But like I said, it's just that there's got to be something, going on, because I just don't understand how they can like that. Well, no offense, like I said, bro, I'm not trying to offend nobody. I'm just like keeping that shit real, though. Like, I don't get it, though. Like meaning like the being attracted part, right? Like, I don't know. Or well, look at like the people that women that try to be men, or men that try to be women, right? Because they feel like that's what they were supposed to be born as, right? So, but they're not, though. So, that to me, it all comes down to there has to be something going on, right? Mentally wise, I don't know. And it could be genetically wise, or they were born that way. I don't know. I don't know if somebody's made that way, right, or to be that way, right? Because there's no research that shows that to be so. It's crazy, bro. The human brain is a trip, bro. It's a trip. All the different, and not even just people that are like gays or lesbians or trannies, right? But those who are are schizophrenic, and there's even some more, and not in narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and all that. But there's even trippier ones, right? Like there's this one illness, right, where it's what is it? What's that shit called? Alien hand syndrome or some shit like that, right? But it's basically where you can't control one of your hands, right? So one of your hands just starts to do shit on its own, like without you even noticing, right? Like, there was this case, this woman, she went to the doctor's office, right? And she's talking to the doctor, and while she's talking to the doctor, her hand is unbuttoning her shirt, like stripping pretty much, right? And the doctor was like, what the hell? Like, what's going on, And she didn't even realize, right? You can actually view the documentary, and you can actually see where they're interviewing her and how much of a trip that is, bro. She said, she's, suffered a lot, bro, because, she would go places, her hand would, go into her purse and just leave her stuff, and she wouldn't even notice, bro, that her hand just, because like I said, she can't feel it or nothing like that, bro. It just starts, and sometimes it attacks her. It starts to choke her, punch her, you know, and she has no control over it, bro. It's crazy, though. It's crazy. Or those who are or people that suffer from Tourette's, right? Like just lashing out, yelling shit, right? Shit like that is crazy, bro. Or OCD. Like I said, bro, the human brain is just a fucking trip in itself in general. It's quite fascinating if you really think about it. Trump is scared of China? You know what? Here's the thing, though. It's not just, see, Trump is just a product of his time, though, because in his time, that's how he brought up to see China and Russia, right? But since he had connections in Russia, you know, he only seen China that way, right? But there's always been that way between, you know, these political elites of America, right? China and Russia have always been the enemies. There's always been agendas and shit like that, right? You know, here's a trip. Russia and the United States have been at war forever, just in a non-physical, you know, way, right? Like every time, the reason why the military is always, you know, finding new ways to, you know, different missiles and weaponry, right? Is because their inside sources tell them that, you know, Russia or China, you know, is inventing something new and this and that. So then the United States invents something to combat whatever they're inventing, and then they realize that the United States has now invented something to combat what they. So now they invent something new, right? And it's been that way. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like they're at war, but without actually really going to war, right? Like it's like they're pumping their chest out, right? Trying to intimidate each other. Like, we just created this new missile. Oh, yeah, well, we just created these rockets to be able to stop those kind of missiles. Oh, yeah, well, now we have a new satellite that's in outer space that can launch this kind of missile. Oh, yeah, well, now we created this new ground system to launch missiles, you know? And it's been like that, bro. You know, it's like they're fucking movie. It's a game, bro, to them. And sad thing is that they're fucking with real people's lives, though. And they don't give a fuck. Right? So Trump is not the only president to, you know, have been, you know, all paranoid about China. It's just that, you know, he actually shows his whole fucking cards. But he thinks he's slick. Try it again, Angel. Where you from, guys? California, Los Angeles. What it? Jose Luis, see. It's an episode where, neighborhood 20 cuz East Side, Long Beach. A couple of people's. Oh, damn. I have a question. If a rapper snitches, but he has talent, would you give his credit for him? Look, I have said this, you know, even about SPM, you know, who I despise, right, because of his crime. I have always said, but he was one of the best Mexican rappers. His music was dope. His lyrics, his shit was chingon. As a rapper, he was talented. But just because of his crimes, I can't fuck with the motherfucker and fuck him. You know what I mean? But I can't take away the fact that he had skills. He had talent. I'm not a hater, bro. He did that. He had talent. He had skills. You know, I'm not hating or taking nothing away from that fool. You know, but fuck him. You know, straight up. But yeah, he has talent in rapping, but shit don't mean nothing to me. You know, I know that there's other people that's like, well, I know how to separate the art from the artist. And it's like, well, we're not talking paintings here, bro. We're talking about a grown-ass man sexually assaulting a child, bro. This is not fucking art and paintings, bro, that you're like, I separate the art from the artist. Nah, bro, by you supporting him, you're supporting a fucking predator, homie. So don't give me that shit. It's not the same thing. Get your goofy ass out of here. No, bro, what it is that you're trying to fucking excuse you supporting a pedophile. Plain and simple. Period. You support pedophiles, homie. You know, that's just the truth of it. You can't try to fucking lessen the impact of the blow. Just nah, 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 nah. Like I said, bro, like people don't truly care unless it's something related to them, right? Like like when you see these celebrities or whatever, and they have these fucking. It turns out that they were taking advantage of kids, right, and shit like that. But since it's their favorite movies, or they have some kind of memory attached to that, right, they try to make excuses for them, you know. And it's like, oh, okay, so you have no problem with a grown ass man taking advantage of a kid. Like, well, no, 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 I do. That's not acceptable. Like, well, you're supporting this individual then. See, the thing is that no, but it's different. How's it different? What if that celebrity or that rapper, whatever, the person that he took advantage of was your child or your sibling? Ah, no, I would kill the motherfucker. Ah, but since this person's not related to you, then it's okay to bump their music, huh? So then you truly don't give a fuck about grown ass man taking advantage of kids. You're just trying to pretend then, because you don't want the world to judge you. But you truly don't care about a man, taking advantage of a child then, unless it's related to you then. So you don't give a fuck about nobody but yourself. If not, then explain it. Explain it. Make it make sense. Whoopsie. Are you Mexican? Yes, I am. What up, man? You have good content. Hey, gracias. I appreciate that, my boy. Trump finna send you back over the border. Why, bro? They're just gonna deport me back over here. Straight up. They're gonna be like, let me see your Mexican citizenship. Like, well, I don't have one. Then they're gonna deport me back over here. See, it's like, well, America says I'm not American, and then Mexico says I'm not Mexican. A pickle wearing, huh? For those who wonder why or how or why do people refer to themselves as Chicanos, or how did this whole thing come about? Well, there you go. That's your answer. I know you guys are telling me that I'm not American, even though I was born here, and to go back to my country, right? I get that. But see, if I was to go to Mexico, I'm not Mexican, right? They're gonna say, well, you weren't born here, so you're not Mexican. You don't got your citizenship, so I'm not Mexican. So American says I'm not American. Mexican says I'm not Mexicans. So what do we do here now? So we're Chicanos. You get it? You get it now? You get it? Ta-da! Chicano. It's not really that hard to to understand. Or they'll enslave you in the cartels. Or they'll enslave me into the cartels. Well, here in America, you'll get enslaved to a whole bunch of other shit as well. What difference is it? As far as I remember, whites have gangs as well. Did you not see them storm Capitol Hill? Man, it's crazy because the trolls would be funny if they actually had something to say. Yeah, I know. I hate when they come lazy like that too. Like they just put the same thing over and over and over again. But you know, obviously it's a cry for attention. But there is no government left in Mexico, bro. I know. I know. Trust me, I know. Shit's all fucked up over there. Trust me, I know. See, if Mexico's would actually have their shit together, then we wouldn't have an immigration problem. See? And I don't know why it's so hard for people to see that, right? When they're talking about fixing the immigration problem, then instead of fucking throwing money, you know, and wasting money on shit that's not working, hasn't been working, right? Probably the best way I would say to fix the immigration problem or our border problem is to help Mexico fix their government. Now, why would America help Mexico fix their problem? Well, aren't you bitching that we have a border problem? All right, then. So guess what? You're going to have to help. You know what I mean? I mean, do you want to fix the problem? Yes or no? Okay. So now you actually put some finances, some resources on some shit, you know, that's going to actually see, you know, progress, right? By helping these individuals fix their government. Because if you stabilize their government, guess what happens? They become like America, meaning Mexico, right? Nobody's trying to flee America. You want to know why? Because they got this shit. You know, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. America has a lot of flaws, but it's still the greatest country nonetheless, right? So no one's trying to flee America, right? So now if Mexico's government is stabilized, right? Meaning, you know, I don't mean by giving them money. That's not what I'm saying. By fixing the corruption problem, right? Then you won't have to worry about Mexicans trying to flee Mexico. And if Mexicans won't try to flee Mexico no more, then guess what? The problem in your borders, ta-da! It stops. But no, people rather keep wasting their shit on fucking build the wall and build it. Yeah, keep building, motherfucker. It's not gonna change a goddamn thing, bro. Goofball. People think when I say that it's like I'm like against the wall or that I'm somebody who wants open borders. You can't have open borders. You'll fuck up your economy like that. At the same time, you gotta come with some real shit too. Then can't be ignorant now, right? Because no fucking country in this world has open borders. Not even Mexico. Mexico deports people as well. You know, like even the ones that are over here, right? Like let's say Mexicans that are Mexican Americans, right? So, you know, as great as, you know, you love Mexico and you saying all that, guess what though, bro? If you were to be in Mexico and if you crime whatever, you're getting deported back to America because you're not a Mexican citizen. You'll have to go through the same process that these individuals have to go through in order to become Americans, the same process you would have to do in Mexico to become Mexican. And now you're getting deported back over here because they just don't fucking have open borders over there. As Salvadorians, Hondurans, and all of them, they get deported when they get caught in Mexico back to their countries. Mexico does not have open borders, goofball. Right? And that's not, oh, look at this fool, he's trying to be cabacho. No, bro, it's just that you gotta come, you know, right too, bro. I trust me, I get the whole pride and everything like that. But be realistic and, you know, and let's talk about how shit really works. That has nothing to do with not being prideful of my people and all of that. It's just that that's not how it works anywhere. And you just can't do that. You know, because the world just doesn't work like that. And those are the facts. U.S. is far from the greatest country. No, that's what I said. U.S. has a lot of problems, right? But it's still better than being in a lot of places in the world. Trust me, it really is. That's why, you know, I also think it's stupid when people be like, well, if you don't like it here, then go back to Mexico and stuff like that. Like, look, bro, just because America's great and you have freedom here doesn't mean that it's perfect, right? It's just like there still could be, you know, progress and there's still a lot of things that could get fixed, right? Just because you have more rights here than you do in other countries doesn't mean that you should settle for what we have, you know? Doesn't mean that we shouldn't, you know, keep striving to improve and fix, you know, certain shit that's still, you know, wrong. Like, it's like, you know, like if in a country, you know, women get raped, but they don't get murdered, right? And then the women are complaining that they get raped, and you're like, stop complaining. In other countries, they get murdered. So at least, you're still alive, even though they're getting raped. Like, yeah, they're not getting killed, but they're still being raped, bro. So we can still fix that part, right? Like, you can't say just because it's not as bad as other places that you should just put up with it and deal with it. No, it's just strive to improve shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.